Okay, good evening everyone. I look cute, don't I? Yeah. So this is me. I'm, I think, probably 6 years old, and my story is, the title is मैं Heroine, because I've realized that, although it sounds very obnoxious when you say that, but I realized that every time I've been in the down under, something like this has always brought me up from it. So I'm an army kid, very disciplined, not really, but then I went on to do BTech, then I did my MBA. So, you know, as Punjab Jatt girls, we don't want to get married early, so then we pick up the degrees which are going to take the longest time. You know, 4 years of BTech, then our parents say, ab kya karna hai? Ab I think we'll do MBA. Achha, then what do you want to do? Let me sit for campus placement, and then let's see what happens. You know? So then I got placed through HSBC, and they put me in Ludhiana. Of all the places, I was a wealth advisor. I was supposed to tell people, give us money, we'll invest with the Lehman crisis. And this is the image of the first time, ye wali nahi, pehle wali. You know, there's this Punjabi manji with lots of cash strewn on it. And the client says, "Aap kacche ka kya karta hai?" I'm thinking, which fruit is kacha here? You know, I don't know that. That's actually black money. And I thought, what am I going to do here for the next couple of years? So this is what I did. My first client was a wineries guy. And back in the day, you couldn't go to a theka to buy daru, you know. So they would wrap it in newspaper and give it to you. And that's what I did for 3 months. And this is my first boss who said, you both girls have turned me bald. Because tum kaam nahi kar rahe, I'm going to put you on PIP, you're going to performance improvement plan, 6 months you're out of banking. So what do? My father got me a Swift, which I couldn't really drive well. So वो पीछे से ऐसी ना ऐसी हो गई थी. It was all flat by the time I was finished with it. And I went through all the streets and pins. Every time a teller would say, there is an NRI who's landed in Appra village. There's an NRI who's landed in Bhogpur. I would go there, just one baseball bat in my car. And I would get them to do insurances, investments. Not my best time in terms of advisory, but that's what I did. So this is my teen networking. I had lots of tea. I had lots of lassi. And in my meet, I had saag, makki ki roti, coming to my branch by all the wives. Some really doodh wali chai, which my seniors would say, yahan chai mat peena. I said, why? Because the client has never had his tea, so he doesn't know. It smells of buffalo. But then I would have it, and I would get my investments. But then, generally everybody says that, you know, tum north ki ladkiyan hamare ladke patati ho, but he was the one who was after me. And we met through one of our training programs, and I married him. Moved to Delhi, and Standard Chartered Bank, somebody thought somewhere कि lending के middle management में there is no woman. ये नई Delhi आई है, इसको wealth से निकाल के let's give her lending. Great. Suddenly I realized, because I'm not the one asking for money, I'm the one who's giving money, people are ready to take my calls even at 12 in the night. You know, that's amazing. So when they were demerging the whole thing, I never went back to wealth advisory. I said, this is really good, and I'm the only well-spoken person here. 2 years of getting married, right on time, I was pregnant. My beautiful boy is also here. But the only problem with pregnancy is, I think I was about a month away from my appraisal, and I thought, I'm a boss ko bataungi to promotion nahi hoga. But you know, we're army kids, we tell the truth. So I told him. Of course, the promotion didn't happen. Of course, I was back. I think I was working till the last day. Next day, delivery thi, and people were like, ma'am, aapko office se thodi leke jayenge. But despite all of that, I didn't get my incentives. So what do? We think we'll have patience for a while. Or baki, when you do your job right, when you're actually honest and good, तो सबको आपसे हार्ली क्विन की तरह थोड़ा डर लगता है. Then they can't keep everything away from you in corporate. Corporate people should be scared of you. But corporate has a habit. Corporate keeps a carrot in front of you. Let's take you for an offsite. Let's give you an award, reward, a dry promotion. You know, all of that happens in the corporate. But you have to remind yourself, these are just carrots. And who reminds me of that? My husband. But you know, it's really sad, but then you have to accept certain things. But life changed for me during COVID when I lost my mom, and I realized how she was the anchor of my life. When you lose your anchor, so what we Punjabis do, we drink. You know, we love our alcohol. Just 2 pegs a day, but we drink every day. So finally, my husband's like, after 6 months, you know what, something's not right. You know, you maybe need to figure out. I said, I am fine, I do my Zoom call and then I drink. But everything's in your head, you know. You're doing loans, then your staff is calling, madam, khane mein kya banana hai? Then you're in the traffic, then you're doing Delhi Gurgaon. You think you're productive because you're the #1 performer. You're delivering numbers. You're doing everything. You've got the carrot. You're getting ESOP for a company that is not getting sold. There is nothing, no equity coming in, but you're getting ESOPs. So what do? Finally, a friend, long-time friend, gives you this book of Ayn Rand. And she tells you, Japneet, I hope Howard Roark's story, you know, really relates with you. और फिर आप क्या करते हो, गोवा आते हो, आप किताब पढ़ते हो, आप वापस ऑफिस जाते हो, सर आई एम रिजाइनिंग. What happens? I read this book, Fountainhead. He says, this is capitalist greed. Okay, this is not capitalist greed. Capitalist greed is, and then I'll first come to the treacherous word. You have no gratitude, this generation, Gratitude is not that. Gratitude is if somebody is putting 100 rupees on the on the table of the platform, getting 25 rupees, where is the capitalist greed? So that was when I decided to start my own work. And, I realized it's good to be stubborn, dheet, hatti, dhar, whatever you call in the language. You do your own thing. And this confidence came into me. It took me a lot of time. And then I realized, meeting a lot of good women and men, the people who have the capability to achieve the most are the ones who doubt themselves the most. You see all these finfluencers and sometimes thinking, ye kya sikha rahe hain? And then I tell my friends who've been doing this for 30 years, that they are you sure we should do this? But thinking about all of that, the confidence it took me to start my own work took a little time, but it was a day when I realized कि अगर मैं आपको 1000 crore नहीं दिला सकती देश में तो कोई नहीं दिला सकता. That was the day I started it. So the last slide was, the family, which is my son. I just want to tell about one incident, when I lost my mom, I came home and I was trying to sleep. My son, who was at the time about 4.5, 5, he took me in his arms and he said, Mama, it's okay, you can cry to sleep. That was the day I realized that, you need some balance. You need to be in the present. And sometimes the present and the balance that we're chasing, calling work-life balance, is very different from the reality of what you need. So today, do I make more money? Yes. Am I more known in the client segment? Yes. Do I get approached to be on the board of directors? Yes. But what is actually giving me joy is that my office is on the ground floor of my house, and when my son comes back from school, I am there when he tells me his story about the day. I think that is the joy, and that is what means happiness for me today. So my actual life of being unstoppable starts now. Thank you so much, everyone.